Good evening and a very warm welcome to you wherever you may be tuning into the 97th episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Good evening, my name is Tonchi Prusak and a very warm welcome to my co-host Steve Curtin. Good evening, Steve. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Tonch. Good to see you for the second night in a row, or I guess the third night in a row, actually. But last night, seeing you in person for the second time in about 2 or 3 weeks was definitely the highlight of my week, mate. Make no mistake. Yeah, I forget the nice spring weather and stuff, but to actually be there in person last night at the awards night was a real highlight. And of course, our favourite Welshman, Craig, with us as well, Craig Filer. So, no, mate, doing well. Had a nice day today. And how do we find you this Tuesday evening? Because it does feel a bit weird. It feels like back in the original days of this show when it used to be broadcast on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Who knows? Maybe this might be the secret to success, letting everyone have a little bit of a breather after the weekend gone by and then really tackling all the issues. Speaking of tackling all the issues tonight, we will be, folks, tackling all the issues. We've got lots happening. And while the season is winding up for some, for others, it really, really is hotting up. And it's a semi-final time of the Geelong Region local leagues. And tonight we'll be talking with one of the presidents of the co-hosting venues, MARIO GREGORIO, president of the Corio Soccer Club. So no surprise, the magnificently renovated new facilities there at Hume Reserve are playing host to part of this week's semi-finals and then next week's grand final. So we'll hear all about that from Mario. Geelong Rangers, the other hosting venues.
Definitely. So, and Tonchi, can I just add, there's been no controversy about these venues as hosts, unlike the NPL Victoria Grand Finals this weekend, where there's been just a tad of controversy in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's still I'm sure
maybe still a bit. Maybe there's still maybe we've overlooked some. Maybe there's some clubs that feel hard done by. If your club does feel hard done by, feel free to stipulate your reasons in the comments, but certainly a lot of our Cryo faithful, Santino and co, who are tuning in tonight, trying to drum up a big audience, will be pretty happy to be hosting the finals, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, I think more the issue of, it was really left until pretty much the last moment to reveal. We've been trying to find out where were the venues going to be hosted, and it really hasn't left the hosting clubs much time to prepare and organise. I mean, it is a logistical nightmare, getting the volunteers, getting everything. But, we'll like I said, we'll hear about all those issues from Corio Soccer Club president, MARIO GREGORIO. They also had their presentation on the weekend gone by. So lots to talk about there with Mario. And speaking of issues, speaking of good things and bad things, the success that the North Geelong Warriors Juniors have been achieving this year has been absolutely phenomenal. But there is a bit of a negative side to their success, Steve. We'll be talking with the head of the junior operations down at Alco Park, Aaron Bailey, who's been on our show before. Apart from celebrating some of the achievements that the junior setup down at Alco Park has achieved this year, there is also a little bit of a negative element connected with that. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll find out
No.
what that negative element is, and it certainly has got something to do with La Nina. Let's call it that. but
I
but
think I
we've
can
got
see where you're coming from all of
yeah.
a sudden. The cryptic clue has given it away for me, I'd say.
We did mention this yesterday, Steve, at the gold medal night, folks. One of the hosts there, hostesses, if you like, she mentioned something about the fact she'd just come back from Ireland, where they'd gone absolutely nuts about the English Lionesses, the female women's team in the Euro Championships that was recently held. And she actually said to one of the WNPL or NPLW players, do you think we're underestimating how big the Women's World Cup is going to be next year? And Steve, a little mini discussion broke out on our table, and we were talking about and we're saying, I think we're going to have an influx of all these young girls wanting to play, and boys probably. We won't have anywhere to accommodate them. We won't have any enough grounds, and the council will just plod along and do their own thing, and close their ears and what you're not. But look, there are some good things on the horizon. Update of the Geelong soccer strategy, which we hope to address in coming weeks, folks. We also hope to maybe get a
Well, yeah.
councillor or two on our show. But Steve, we've also got lots of other news to go. So we're going to take a quick break, and you're going to get yourself ready. And we've got a huge news desk coming up for you, folks. So don't go away. It's episode 97 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show, proudly brought to you by our major sponsor for 2022, Barry Plant Geelong. For all your real estate needs, go see Robert Coolish at Barry Plant Geelong. At Barry Plant Geelong, excellence is our starting point. The award-winning real estate agents and property managers at Barry Plant Geelong's vision is simply to be the most recommended brand in real estate, and are dedicated to providing the best real estate experience to every client, every time. We have the skills and commitment to making selling and renting out your home a rewarding experience. By implementing well-targeted marketing strategies and tapping into the vast Barry Plant network, we'll cast a wide net to find the right buyer for your property. Or, if you are looking to purchase, we'll work just as hard to help you find the right property to suit your needs. Our sales office is located at 59 Jeringhap Street, right in the heart of Geelong, while our property management office is just around the corner at 116 Ryrie Street. Whatever your requirement, please call us now on 5221 4011 to experience the difference, or visit our website at www.barryplant.com.au/Geelong. Barry Plant Geelong sponsors both the Geelong Soccer Club and the Corio Soccer Club, and is also proud to be the major sponsor of the Geelong Region Soccer Show.
All right, love that intro, Tonchi. It is Monday. It is not Monday. It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday the 6th of September 2022. How's that for being a creature of habit and routine? First item on the news desk tonight. Let's talk about a club announcement from Geelong Galaxy, where the club is pleased to announce the new senior coach appointment of John Diaz to the position for next year. John has coached in female football space for the past 10 years, and he's coached some big name clubs, South Melbourne, the Melbourne Knights, just to name a few. He's been involved at Hoppers Crossing, Point Cook as well. So John's looking forward to kicking off the campaign with the girls there at Galaxy as the senior head coach. And they had a bit of a tumultuous year in the coaching ranks in 2022. Jason Van Berkel was in there for a while. Then they replaced him with another coach late in the latter part of the season as well, Tonchi. So hopefully stability is the goal here, and this experienced coach of John Diaz should do the job, I think.
Yeah, good point that you make here. Stability, that's a key. And I think the fact that this season has just finished and they're already planning ahead for next year. And we're finding last night, Steve, we found out quite a little bit of information that a lot of local clubs are already starting to plan for next year. This season hasn't even finished, and that is a good sign of planning, of stability. But look, is it a good appointment or not? the man obviously is very experienced, but at the end of the day, I think Galaxy's biggest problem has been their depth. And look, with Lara United getting promoted, Geelong Rangers getting promoted, North Geelong looking to strengthen their position in State 1 and have that tilt for VPLW next year. Galaxy's going to have a hard time recruiting players. And so they're really going to have to, I think, work on a lot of their juniors that are coming up through the ranks. But it's going to be a fairly competitive environment. But yeah, really good point that you make there. Now, Steve, I'm staying on women's soccer.
Yeah,
or girls soccer.
This is good news. The headline there: Our St. Patrick's Day. This is good news in the world of primary school sports. St. Patrick's, the Catholic primary school down there in Britannia Street in Geelong West, of all places, has excelled. You talk a little bit more about that with us, if you could, Todge.
Yeah, look, this is the primary school category, and they became the number one school in the state. So it was about 1,000 schools that entered the competition at the initial phase, but St. Pat's made it to the finals, which was last Wednesday. They beat the school from Hyatt in Melbourne after going through their pool phase with 2 wins and a draw, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. With Violet Smith, the young lass there, who comes from Galaxy, plays with Galaxy Juniors. She was the captain there. Her cousin, Evie Stosic from North Geelong, who both have been selected in the state sports Victoria school team that's going to head over to WA in October. Great achievement.
Up fast.
Yeah. And coached by Ante Stosic from North Geelong and Joe Fiala, also formerly of North Geelong. So well done to everyone involved there. A lot of talent. Well done, ladies. They did a fantastic job. And look, what makes it even more surprising is, and I may stand corrected by this, but a lot of these schools, they've got great talent, but the actual school doesn't really help much in the soccer side of things. And, look, St. Pat's is probably one of those schools, and I know the schools where my kids go to, Holy Family in Bell Park as well. A lot of soccer kids, but they just don't seem to have that level of support that maybe some of the other schools get in the region. So it makes it even all the more amazing.
It does. The good thing about St. Pat's as well is, and we talked about this last night when we caught up, Tonchi, was that there was a bit of lobbying, I think, by a young attendee of the school, but they've got the little synthetic field there with the little soccer goals at each end, and that gets used 24/7 all the time. Basically, it's just getting used on weekends. There's been people over there having a kick after work of an evening and stuff like that. Those sort of facilities, it doesn't take up much space, and every primary school should have something like that. If you've been past and seen that one at St. Pat's, it's great.
Well, look at our man Santino Mamone. He pops up everywhere, mate. He's everywhere. He's in the chat. He goes.
There you go. Yeah.
Only played AFL when I went there. Okay, so that's a long time ago, no doubt.
Certainly a big footy focus at the Catholic schools around town from my experience as well back in the day too.
Yeah. Hopefully that sort of changing. We've seen some of the amazing success that some of these schools have achieved. St. Joseph's another one that did really, really well. Cardinia did well as well at the state champs, but congratulations to the St. Patrick's girls team there, who took out the primary category of sports, state sports Victoria, what is it called? State school sports Victoria.
It's a mouthful either way, yeah.
Moving on to the gold medal night last night, Steve. North Geelong, swept the MPL2 awards. I think the only individual award they didn't win was the actual best and fairest. That was won by Corey Thomas from Auburn City.
Yep.
And Craig Filer was very quick to mention that he is from Wales, of course.
Of course.
But Caleb Mikulich from North Geelong was joint runner-up in that particular category. But North Geelong scooped the prizes in all the others. And Steve, we got some footage from last night, so let's show some of that footage from last night's gold medal awards at the in Melbourne.
Warriors SC, a huge congratulations to Caleb Mikulich.
Congratulations to Caleb. I like how that one's losing the stairs tonight, just straight up the moat.
Geelong Warriors SC is Hamish Fliven.
There you go.
And a curling shot comes around the wall, beautifully saved there by Hamish Fliven.
That vision there was sort of barbecue going in the background. It's proper NPL 2 stadium. Fantastic. Didn't distract Hamish that day. Terrific season for North Geelong Warriors as well. It's from the North Geelong Warriors football club, Stuart Bell.
I wasn't actually expecting this, to be honest. But really, as what was said before, I think I've got lucky to have a great environment, and when you've got that mix, players just want to get there wherever they can, that's what happens. But, everything goes to your good players, not me. I'm not one for awards. Adrian Matthews, I think, did a great year as well, and you should be proud of your achievements this year and Geelong City. But to my group, from the board, from Tom to Aaron, to the playing group down there, from my assistant Adrian Bay, couldn't have done anything you guys have done, and this goes to you guys as well. Cheers, thank you.
Well, there you go. That was from last night's gold medal night. We will talk a little bit more about those awards and those accolades with Aaron Bailey, who was there representing the club along with the president, Tom Trupkovic, at the awards. So we will talk to him a little bit later on. We will also be talking to Corio Soccer Club president, MARIO GREGORIO, very, very shortly. But before we do that, we've got still heaps of news to get through. Steve, let's go through some of the final standings in the competitions. And we'll start off with the Geelong Region Men's Division 1 ladder.
Yeah, there you go. That top four that was pretty much a done deal as to who'd be in it. Just a matter of the places, and it's finished up there. Bell Park, Barwon, FC Leopold, and Armstrong United. The teams getting the top four places after the weekend's results. We'll have a look at those results now, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
So
we'll start off with I was going to say Breakwater Eagles. Yep. They lost to Bell Park 4-0. Goals by Mio Marinovic, Alex Smith, Sahin Gorju, and Nicholas Romano. On to the other games, Steve.
Surf Coast lost to Armstrong United 1-0. Callan Gerritsen with the goal. And in the other match, Barwon defeating FC Leopold. Ian Nichols, Harry Carter, Adam Leather for Barwon, and no score submitted for FC Leopold.
Oh, gosh, that's no good. Well, there you go. So there's the top four: Bell Park, Barwon, FC Leopold, and Armstrong United. Now moving along to the women's competition. And this was really thrilling right to the very, very end as far as the minor premiership was concerned, Steve.
Yeah. It did, and it went the way on the final day. It went the way of Surf Coast FC, narrowly ahead of Deakin Ducks Gold, with Geelong and Barwon making up the other spots in the top four. So Surf Coast got a 5-0 win on Saturday to put themselves into that position. Minnie Feeks with a double, Kayla Witkowski with a double, and Isabella Wakefield also scoring. And the Deakin Ducks, they got themselves a win 4-1 against Geelong Rangers, but yeah, in the end it wasn't enough to be able to overtake Surf Coast. Those goals for Deakin: Ashley Evans a double, Alexandria Wolf a double as well. Geelong Rangers scorer not submitted.
Yep. And so there we go, the top four there: Surf Coast, Deakin Ducks, Geelong and Bowen. And that was reinforced, I guess, several weeks ago, so we knew exactly who would be partaking in the finals. Now, the men's Division 2 competition standings finished after another 6-team division. Hopefully, the next year, the Division 1, Division 2 can maybe merge and have a proper 12 team competition. Hopefully, but there's going to be a big gap, but at least it'll be a decent sort of a competition. Rangers ended up on top, minor premiers. Congratulations to Geelong Rangers. Bowen in second spot. They've got a lot of depth, even in the local leagues. Drysdale, 21 points in third spot. Now, I believe it's the first time in 6 years or something like that, or maybe even longer, that Drysdale have actually made it to the finals. They once upon a time were quite a powerhouse in the Division 1 competition. And they're sort of languishing now in Division 2, but hopefully sooner rather than later they can move back up the competition standings.
Yeah.
And Elko Park Cardinals, which had a team in Division 1, but they folded, and they sort of scraped in by the barest of margins into the top 4 playoff, courtesy of a slightly better goal difference than Bowen Heads, but wasn't far off it for that battle for top 4 spot. Geelong Region Women's Division 2, Steve, how did that fare?
Yeah, Lara United getting the nod, finishing on top, not too far ahead of Bell Park and Surfside Waves. FC Leopold in fourth, and Golden Plains just missing out in that top 4 by a couple of points. And a bigger comp this one, 10 teams in it, and the other teams rounding out the table: Bowen Heads, Corio, Bay, Armstrong United, Bellarine Sharks, and the other Deakin Ducks team, Deakin Ducks Black, just finishing in the cellar.
Now, looking at that, 6 teams in Division 1, 10 teams in Division 2. You'd think that Lara United and Bell Park would get promoted. What will happen with Lara United? Obviously, next year, Lara United has to have a reserves team and a seniors team. I know they're pretty intent on getting a reserves team in addition to the community side as well. Because obviously, community side, not everyone will want to travel up to Melbourne. Not everyone will want to train twice a week and whatnot. So, if that is the case, they can then get a reserves team for their State 1 side. You'd think that their Division 2 side, along with Bell Park and possibly maybe even Surfside and maybe even Leopold, would move into Division 1 and would have, once again, a fair income Division 1 competition. But we'll have to wait and see until probably March or April of next year, just before the season starts, or maybe a week before, to see exactly the composition of next year's Geelong Region competition. Last but not least, Steve, the Division 3 men's competition.
An even bigger competition, this one. 13 teams,
Whoa.
which seems like a huge number compared to some of the other divisions that we
Didn't it start off
regularly
with 15?
follow. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, Corio top of the pile in the end, 13 wins from 16 games, not bad going, finishing top. Surf Coast on 12 wins in second, Geelong 11 wins in third. Bellarine Sharks, team we don't talk about a great deal, they got 10 wins. They made it into fourth place, only edging out Bowen by 2 goals on goal difference for fourth place.
Now, remembering Corio, I think maybe Surf Coast, definitely Geelong. Bellarine Sharks, probably. Most of these are all old guys. These are sort of like their masters teams. So even though they dominated quite well, they'd certainly struggle moving up the ladder, and they probably want to play more social. But herein lies the problem. They're too good for this Division 3. So are they worthy of playing in Division 2? Look, honestly, I think with these lopsided divisions, they need to go. 6 teams in Division 1, 6 teams in Division 2, and then 13 in Division 3. If you're going to go down that path, Steve, I think then split up Division 3, make it top 8 and bottom 7, and you've got effectively, or 7 and 6, you've effectively got a Division 3 and then a Division 4. And that may attract a few more teams. But anyway, it is what it is. Let's move on back to the State League Women's, because we had some State League playoffs over the weekend. Let's start off with Lara in State 2. They played the Champions Final.
They did. Bit of footage here.
Yeah, look at that goal. Look at this goal. There's Izzy Wilkinson's
Out there at City
rasping
Vista.
effort there.
Yeah,
And,
what a long distance bomb that was.
We'll have to show that again. But look at this. Just
Here we
build
go.
up. Fantastic. Well
Wow.
timed. Saw the keeper off it.
How's the dip on it as well?
Beautiful.
It chips the keeper.
Absolutely
But
stunning.
the power of the shot too is impressive there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good performance there. Lara 4-2 winners against Mill Park, as you mentioned there. Izzy Wilkinson 2 goals. Ella Jane Riley and Jess Kenyon. And that is a very happy looking team there. And so they should be, because they've done great.
Yeah, so congratulations to Lara. Champions of State 2, they've moved up to State 1, well, undefeated and in the best way possible. So what a fantastic season it was. State 3, Geelong Rangers as well. They've now progressed through to the second round and then the playoff there. And what happened there with their game?
Yeah, this was a narrow margin, a low-scoring game, like a bit of a real final-type game, really. 1-0, Bridget McDermott scoring the only goal that was enough for the Geelong Rangers to overcome Faulkner at Ralph Reserve in Sunshine West on Sunday.
Beautiful. And that brings us to the end of our news desk. We've got our guest coming up very, very shortly there. We've got on the screen MARIO GREGORIO, the president of Corio Soccer Club. He'll be talking to us about finals football, the presentation night that Corio Soccer Club held last Saturday along with Galaxy. And we'll be talking to him about that shortly. We'll also be talking to the junior operations coordinator, Aaron Bailey. They've had a stellar season down at Elko Park, the juniors, providing a lot of representatives in the country, rep squads for the under 14 and under 15 boys. But there is a little bit of a negative side of their success. And as we said, it involves La Nina. La Nina, La Nina.
And can we do a quick around the grounds as well in Sydney? The Matildas are 1-0 up at half time, courtesy of Mary Fowler's goal in the 3rd minute. So looking forward to watching the second half after the show.
I think that was an assist by Sam Kerr. Who else? Well done to the Matildas, but the job is only half done. Let's go and get them out in the second half. Folks, speaking of getting them in the second half of the show, we're going to be talking to 2 of our esteemed guests. Don't go away. It's episode 97 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. As the first solar tube skylight installer in Victoria, Scotsco Skylighting has nearly 30 years of experience and offers a variety of services including custom-made skylights, high-quality Velux skylights, and a variety of solar tube daylighting systems. The benefits of having the skylight in your home are many. They let natural light into your space, and with that light comes solar heat, improving your mood and even helping with performance in workplaces. Plus, heating your home with sunlight can save on heating costs during the chilly seasons. Cosmetic changes like skylights can add equity into your home, and similar to adding mirrors on the walls, skylights can make a room feel bigger and more spacious. It's about time you enjoyed all these benefits plus more. So what are you waiting for? To get a free daylight assessment and installation quote, call our founder and owner Adrian Begg on 0409 823 177 or visit our website at www.scotscoskylights.com.au. Scotsco Skylighting is proudly Geelong owned and operated. At Barry Plant Geelong, excellence is our starting point. The award-winning real estate agents and property managers of Barry Plant Geelong's vision is simply to be the most recommended brand in real estate and are dedicated to providing the best real estate experience to every client, every time. We have the skills and commitment to making selling and renting out your home a rewarding experience. By implementing well-targeted marketing strategies and tapping into the vast Barry Plant network, We'll cast a wide net to find the right buyer for your property. Or if you are looking to purchase, we'll work just as hard to help you find the right property to suit your needs. Our sales office is located at 59 Jeringhap Street, right in the heart of Geelong, while our property management office is just around the corner at 116 Ryrie Street. Whatever your requirement, please call us now on 5221 4011 to experience the difference, or visit our website at www.barryplant.com.au/Geelong. Barry Plant Geelong sponsors both the Geelong Soccer Club and the Corio Soccer Club, and is also proud to be the major sponsor of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, episode 97. Thank you so much to our sponsors, our major sponsor, Barry Plant Geelong, and also indeed our episode, our business advertiser in Scotsco Skylights. And if Adrian Begg is listening in from Scotsco Skylighting, I had a very big cheerio from you, from one of your former players, and now he's the president of St Albans Saints, Ilya Dragicevic, who is well known to a lot of people down here in Geelong. He had very, very nice words to say about your coaching. So cheerio out to Adrian Begg, whose son scooped the award last night, Stuart Begg, at the NPL2, in the NPL2 Coach of the Year category. But we'll talk a little bit more about that, Steve, later on. Now it's time to bring our first guest on to the show, Steve.
Yeah, well, without any further ado, he's waiting in the green room at the moment. He's the president out at Hume Reserve, Corio Soccer Club. Good evening and a big Geelong Region Soccer Show. Welcome to you, Mario Gregorio.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks, Tonchi.
Mario, thanks for coming on the show. You're always a welcome guest on the show, especially when you bring such good news. And the good news is that after years of lobbying, and we've finally seen a magnificent new facility at Hume Reserve, it's been rewarded by Football Victoria with the co-hosting rights for this year's Geelong Region semi-finals and finals. Tell us more about that, and what actually will we be seeing at Hume Reserve over the next 2 weekends?
Yeah. It was a bit of a. It took a while for a decision to be made, and it was a little bit of tension, I guess, but. It's a new format. So normally the semi-finals would be played at the team finishing top and the teams finishing second at their home grounds. But this year, Corio will be hosting the under-16s, 18s, boys and Division 1 men's and Division 2 men's semi-finals. And they'll be playing from 10 a.m. in the morning right through till 5:30 on Sunday night. And then on the following Sunday, which will be September the 18th, we'll be hosting the under-16s, 18 boys, Division 1, 2 and 3 men's finals.
Wow. So is that going to be over the two pitches there so simultaneously will they be held there at Hume Reserve?
Pitch 1 and pitch 2.
Yes, it will be. Yeah. The main games, the under-18 semi-finals and the Division 1 semi-finals will be on the main pitch in front of our new grandstand, and then the other games will be played on, which was our old main pitch, on pitch 2 now. So still quite a good ground. So we're really looking forward to it. It's fantastic, and we've also got Geelong Rangers hosting a number of juniors and women's games as well.
Yeah. So if we look at Geelong Rangers as well, so at Hume Reserve, the games are only on the Sunday for this week. Is that right?
That's right. Only on the Sunday. This Sunday and the following Sunday.
So at Myers Reserve, there we go. We've got the graphic there of all the games being played on the Saturday. We'll start off with the Geelong girls under-12 semi-finals. Now that kicks off at 9 a.m. So one's going to be on. They're both on pitch 3 there, so that's quite an early start. Steve, then we move on to the girls under-13 semi-finals.
We're on pitch 3 there. Under 13, we got Geelong Rangers against the Ballerine Sharks, and Barwon against Surf Coast FC as well. Girls under 14/15 finals, also at the same location. Surf Coast Blue against. Honestly, can't read that. Sorry.
Surf Coast Blue versus Ballarat SC.
Does that say Ballarat? Oh, that's what threw me. I thought I read Ballarat, and I thought that can't be right.
Yeah, now Ballarat did play in the competition this year. They had special permission to play. Obviously, the 14 and 15 girls, they'll be playing on a full pitch. So that kicks off at 12:30, that first one. And then the second semi-final between North Geelong Warriors and Geelong. That's also on pitch 3. That's at 2:25 p.m. Then we've got the Women's Division 2 semi-finals. That's going to be held on pitch 2. Lara United taking on 4th placed FC Leopold. That's at 12:30, and then at 3 p.m. Bell Park hosting, not hosting, but taking on Surfside Waves. It's neutral territory, after all, isn't it? And then it all culminates on pitch 1 with the Division 1 finals, the Women's Division 1 finals at 12:30, Surf Coast taking on Barwon. And then at 3 p.m, Deakin Ducks taking on Geelong Soccer Club. So really, we can only see one Geelong Rangers team that's going to get home ground advantage, and that's the under-13 team. But let's move along to the Sunday, Steve.
Yeah, so looking at the Sunday there, we've got FC Leopold hosting Drysdale. That's at 10:45 there. Barwon Heads hosting Geelong Rangers, also in under-12s. That's same time. Under-13 semi-finals for the boys there. Barwon Blue hosting Geelong Rangers and Breakwater Eagles hosting Surfside Waves. And over to you for the under-14s, Tonch.
Yeah, and those games will be played on pitch 3. Pitch 2 is reserved for the Geelong boys under-14s. They will be playing on the full pitch. So 12:30, Geelong Rangers take on Surfside Waves. Geelong Rangers, I think they played 15 games and 15 wins. They are invincibles. And there is talk that particular Geelong Rangers team will be going up to play in the Metro competition next year in the under-15s as well. They basically won everything there is to win here. So you would expect that team to absolutely whitewash Surfside Waves and qualify for the finals next week. But let's see. Come Saturday, things may be different. We may see an upset on the cards. At 2:15, Barwon taking on, once again, I was about to say hosting. They're not hosting. It's a neutral venue. Barwon taking on Surf Coast. That's on pitch 2. And then we have the Men's Division 3 semi-finals. Mario, your Corio taking on the Bellarine Sharks. Now, do you take part in that Corio team? Is that the Corio Old Boys, the Division 3 side?
Yeah, the Corio Old Boys, yeah, but I'm over 55 now, so I don't qualify for our Masters team. I'm basically old and
Too old.
So, yeah, but it should be a good game because Bellarine Sharks gave us a bit of a fright in our last game. It was 0-0. So I expect to be a tough game, actually, against Bellarine Sharks this week.
Now it's a 12:30 p.m. kickoff. And then at 3 p.m, we've got Surf Coast taking on Geelong Soccer Club. And that's all the action happening on this Sunday. So lots of local football action. If you haven't gone to see any of the local league games, this is a great opportunity to come out either to Hume Reserve or to Myers Reserve and take in a few different games as well. In most cases, games are being played simultaneously, so that is fantastic to see. All right, you touched on Football Victoria sort of keeping their cards close to their chest until the very last moment. How difficult is that then for a club like yourself to then try and get all the logistics together for to host everything? Take us through some of the issues that you face.
Because I'm pretty sure the submissions all went in about 6 to 8 weeks ago. So I'm not quite sure why it took so long for a final decision to be made. And even when the draw came out, I was trying to get the Men's Division 2 games switched to Rangers, and then the Division 3 game switched from Rangers to Corio because Rangers finished on top in Division 2, and I felt that they should have had home ground advantage at Myers Reserve, and I felt our Division 3 team who finished on top should have played the semi-final at home. So a little bit of lobbying, but look, I didn't get all my way. Look, I'm still grateful to get the semi-finals and finals, but then when the paperwork was finally signed at it was about 5 o'clock last Friday, we then had to we've got to try and conjure up all our volunteers and that. So it's difficult. I mean, it is a volunteer sport. A lot of the volunteers have got a lot of things happening, and not only us, but also Geelong Rangers, they've actually got 4 days. So it's a lot of logistics, that needs to go into this. And sometimes I just wish Football Victoria would take notice of that. That's all. Would have been nice to have been given at least 3 weeks' notice. So because people organise trips away, season's finished, and they've already organised trips away.
How are you going finding volunteers to fill all those vacancies at the moment, Mario? Is it a bit of a mad dash, I'd imagine, then?
Yeah, it is a bit of a mad dash. And we're not the only club that has problems finding volunteers. Every club finds the same problem. I'm not the only president who has to work on the bar. I went to see a game last Tuesday night at St Albans Saints. It was a relegation battle in State 1, and the president from St Albans, Elia, was working behind the bar all night. So, we're not alone.
Was he really working behind the bar, or was he looking like he was working behind the bar?
He was definitely working hard behind the bar. So,
was he drinking the profits, was he?
Yeah. So, it's always hard finding volunteers. Yeah. We're getting better at it at Corio, particularly with the number of juniors now at the club and the parents helping. But it's still a battle, you know what I mean? There's always a small handful that have to, that'll work 8 to 10 hours a day. Lisa will be doing 8 to 10 hours at Rangers, and so will I, and she'll have a small band of volunteers doing the same number of hours as well.
Yeah, ideally you'd want many hands to make light work, of course, as the old adage goes. How's the situation with the pitches there? We've obviously had a lot of rain. There could be a bit of rain this coming Saturday and Sunday morning, looking at the forecast too. Is the council able to come and do any treatment to the pitch and try and get it looking as good as possible before the weekend?
Yeah, look, our pitch has taken a bit of a battering this year, particularly with the number of juniors we've got on our 2 pitches, and also with Geelong Galaxy on our pitches. It has held up well, but it's still not in the best condition that it normally is. Normally our ground is pristine, but it's still in pretty good condition, compared to a lot of other grounds in Geelong. We're pretty lucky that we've got a really good drainage system, and the council workers are constantly doing work there every week. So very lucky.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear, Mario. Now, obviously with the new club rooms, it also means that there's been a lot more of a communal feeling around the club. People, functions are being held at the club. More people are staying after games. You've got a wonderful undercover facility there as well. So even when the weather is really bad, you can watch it in relative comfort. But does that mean now that there's more to do? So like now is the volunteer base at Corio even more stretched than it already was, because now the operations are bigger?
Yeah, it is. We're doing meals now Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and then after our games on Saturday, our home games. Then we've got the Galaxy also there on Sunday. I've been very lucky. I've got a band of volunteers, but it's a lot of work. It's basically like running a venue for me now. I run venues in town, but now it's like running a venue, and
not getting paid for it.
And not getting paid for it this time, but I do enjoy it. Some people's legacy is making money. My legacy, I love the passion of the Corio Soccer Club and local football, so that's my passion. And we had a great presentation night last Saturday with 120 people in attendance.
Let's talk about that now. Apparently, I am told I have to ask you about your karaoke singing skills at the Corio Soccer Club Galaxy presentation night. What is that all about?
Basically myself and Kylie Chapman, who's involved at Geelong Galaxy, just came up with the idea of doing karaoke, and I'm involved with karaoke at the Elephant Castle Hotel every Friday night, and we thought we'd do something a bit different rather than just having a band. Everyone would just get up and sing, and everyone sang from 7 o'clock through to midnight. So
is that right?
It was a great night.
What's your go-to song, Mario, when karaoke is coming around?
I have 2 songs. Frankie Valli, Can't Take My Eyes Off You, and Peter Frampton, Show Me the Way.
You romantic.
I wish I had been there. I feel like we missed out. We definitely
was there any footage? As
Santino,
no footage. Joey G, was anyone there got footage?
No,
excellent. Mate, all jokes aside,
no videos.
It seems to me that the atmosphere these days at Corio Soccer Club at Hume Reserve is so vibrant. As I said, people hanging around, there's functions being organised. So we certainly look forward to that vibrancy, that atmosphere being recreated over the next 2 weeks. A big shout out to Lisa Brooks, the president of Geelong Rangers. She's watching and she says, Dito MARIO GREGORIO, it's going to be a busy couple of weeks over the next few weeks. So we really look forward to it. And certainly, mate, we'll probably get you on before the end of the season because we do have a post-season Corio Soccer Club feature show courtesy of our major sponsor, Barry Plant Geelong. So we'll be seeing you or more of the guys from Corio in weeks to come. But in the meantime, all the best for the next 2 weekends.
Thanks, Lorraine. And I better make a special mention to Slavko Pantelic Salami because he's a fantastic help to me as well. So he's always there every single night. And it's trying on the family, but look, it's a great atmosphere at the club now. And we just, we're all watching the Geelong Collingwood game before our presentation night as well. So it's a fantastic atmosphere.
That would have been a great atmosphere. Definitely would have been a great atmosphere to start the night. Mate, all the very best. And thank you very much once again for joining us here on the Geelong Region Soccer Show.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thanks, Mario.
MARIO GREGORIO, the president of Corio Soccer Club. Steve, we're going to take a little bit of a break. And when we return, it is all about North Geelong Warriors and their junior section and the amazing success they've been achieving this year. And I'm sure there's more to come as well. Folks, stay tuned for Aaron Bailey from the North Geelong Warriors Soccer Club. This is the Geelong Region Soccer Show.
As the first solar tube skylight installer in Victoria, Scotsco Skylighting has nearly 30 years of experience and offers a variety of services including custom-made skylights, high-quality Velux skylights, and a variety of solar tube daylighting systems. The benefits of having a skylight in your home are many. They let natural light into your space, and with that light comes solar heat, improving your mood and even helping with performance in workplaces. Plus, heating your home with sunlight can save on heating costs during the chilly seasons. Cosmetic changes like skylights can add equity into your home, and similar to adding mirrors on the walls, skylights can make a room feel bigger and more spacious. It's about time you enjoyed all these benefits plus more. So what are you waiting for? To get a free daylight assessment and installation quote, call our founder and owner Adrian Begg on 0409 823 177 or visit our website at www.scotscoskylights.com.au. Scotsco Skylighting is proudly Geelong owned and operated.
Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. And if you'd like your club profiled in a special club focus feature before the end of this year, we'll be going through till about the early October. Get in touch with us via our Facebook page, or you can email us at communitysportsmedia@gmail.com. That's communitysportsmedia@gmail.com. And we'd love to get you to sponsor your club, to sponsor one of our shows coming up, and would be more than happy to feature your club and talk about the season that was. But Steve, it's time now for our next guest. Would you like to introduce him?
Yeah, let's get him on the screen. Again, he's been patiently waiting in the green room, and it is a very good evening, and good to see you for the second night in a row. Aaron Bailey, the Junior Operations Coordinator from the North Geelong Warriors. How'd you pull up from the big gold medal night last night, Aaron?
Yeah, I pulled up well. I know some of the other guys not so well, but it was a good night. Absolutely.
Good. Who was the best on for the North guys last night, do you think?
I think there was a few front runners there, but I'd half think that Beggsy probably had a pretty good run. He was. I think that was a bit of a shock for him to get that award. He was quite over the moon with that result, I believe. So,
he had plenty to celebrate, indeed.
Yeah. We're going to go through. There's some footage in the background, but mate, you must really be proud of what's been achieved. Let's talk about last night's presentation night, the gold medal night. Let's talk about the effect that this has had on the club, the success, and obviously the on-field success, and then next year qualifying for the NPL, the elite division of Victorian football, after I think an absence of 6 or so years. But then we'll talk about the juniors. But mate, you were at the game, not at the game. You were at the event last night. Tell us a little bit more about what this means for the club, this success that the senior team has achieved.
Oh, look, this is huge for the club and huge for the players and the squad as a whole. Really, the guys have done really well. They've earned their place in every one of these awards, and it's hats off to these boys. They've really come through this year, and I'm excited to see what they bring next year.
And Aaron, what does it mean for you in your role? Do the stakes get higher next season with the club playing in the top tier at senior level for your role, even though you're more focused on the junior side of things?
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, I believe the stakes get much higher. That expectation is there, and we need to ensure that our juniors are ready to transition into that pathway once they're at that top end at that senior level.
Now let's talk about the juniors. I mean, it's been a stellar year for the juniors down at North Geelong. The NPL Juniors boys, they managed to qualify for 3 out of the 4 of them into Division 1, and the under-18s, I think, qualified for Division 2, which is quite remarkable. I don't know of too many other NPL clubs, junior NPL clubs in Victoria, in Melbourne for that matter, that have enjoyed similar success. And most of those teams are either first or second or in the top 3 thereabouts. So they're all doing really, really well. I guess that's a concerted effort by people like Joey Didalitsa, Josip Skoko, and you've carried that work on as well. Tell us a bit more of the structure, a bit of the dedication, the commitment, the program itself. Why is this program yielding so much success down at Alco Park?
Look, I think it's so successful because we set that standard early pre-NPL, I suppose, and it's just a case of ensuring players and parents understand the expectation, and I suppose the pathway program that if they're lucky enough to make their way into that program, the opportunity presents itself. There's 3 hour-and-a-half training sessions per week, intense games. Obviously, we'll make the NPL 1, so every game is a fight for your life at that level, and I think that just really works with the boys, and they develop far greater with that high level competition.
And Aaron, did you want to tell us a bit about the extent of your roles and responsibilities at North Geelong, and perhaps how long you've been around there in that role as a junior operations coordinator? Because if someone is the junior operations coordinator, what are you responsible for? What are you not responsible for, perhaps?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I suppose the further I go along each week, a little more becomes a part of what I do, I suppose. Initially, I sort of work behind the scenes in more of looking after registrations and player packages and that sort of thing. Now it's more so everything, facilitating trials, ensuring we have coaches for every one of our junior NPL and Metro squads. Look, it's the list goes on. It's all areas of, I suppose, operations behind the scenes and what you do see, more so off the park than on the park. So I leave that up to the coaches and TD to facilitate that. I just help support and work through with coaches and players and parents.
Is one of the reasons for that success maybe the fact that you say yourself, you come from a non-football background in the sense that you're not a coach, so you really just do everything from a management point of view and an administrative point of view, and let the coaches have that freedom to do what they need to do, and they've got their own mentors and they've got their own, I guess, people who are going to direct them. So there's not much meddling. What I'm trying to say is rather you focus on concentrating on all the off-field stuff that needs to be dealt with. Is that one of the things that you found?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when we have the likes of Josip Skoko and Joey Didalitsa, at the club and involved and assisting coaches with training styles and training schedules and planning. I would have no merit in that whatsoever, and I wouldn't try to meddle in that. Just stick to what you know and what you're good at. So that's why I sort of focus more so on that admin role and let them run their race as far as the development on the individual player is concerned.
And the club's just had huge success, really, with youngsters going over to Europe. You've got Noah and Lucas Skoko, Nicholas Vlahovic, all headed over there in the last 12 months or less, basically. Is there something special about the club as well that maybe is even hard to measure, or is it just something that the club focuses on its values and organisation, that people are prepared, they know what's ahead of them, and they're able to actually have players that are willing to take the step and go to the brutal world of football and football trials in that cutthroat European environment?
Look, I think a lot of that is preparation, preparing players for what they can expect at a higher level, and just incorporating that professionalism at a younger age, and just getting them ready for the potential future careers. I think it's also important to foster a good culture at the club, and which I think we do, and it's a positive culture within the playing groups, and I think that's also imperative to success.
Well, one element that you mentioned there about preparing players, particularly junior players, for what may eventuate, down the track as far as their playing careers, has happened with the under-14s and under-15s, where a large number, I think, in fact, about 13 players have been selected for the Victorian State Country Team. This is the boys, we're talking about boys NPL, that will be taking part at Coffs Harbour next month. Let's go through some of these names. So these are the North Geelong players that have been selected in the Victorian State under-14s country squad and the under-15s country squad. So the under-14s team, which is coached by Joey Diddlitzer, who also coaches at North Geelong. Jake Bailey, no relation to you, of course, yes. Dante Conte, Kian Arjamand, Nicholas Diddlitzer, Dominic Postorino, Tobias Servin, Marcus Bay, and Carl Lebon. Some star-studded surnames there as well. We look at the under-15 squad. Armin Vezovic, Jasper Payton, Charlie Wrench, Luke Sakita, Marcus Periton, Marco Juric, and Patrick Wall. I think I've tried to work it out, and I cannot see one other Victorian club, metropolitan or country, that has provided more representative players for the boys' junior national championships, and that includes not just Victoria but Australia-wide. If I am wrong, I stand corrected. But 13 players, that's
16.
16, is it?
Yeah, 16.
And we've got 3 Geelong players as well that have been provided as well. So well done to Geelong as well. Great for the region, but that is an incredible feat. And look, some of those players are playing 1 or 2 divisions already, age groups up. So they're really challenging themselves at club level. Now they've got that opportunity to do that at national level. How's the club seen their success?
They're obviously excited for the boys and stoked that they've managed to make it into those programs. Look, I personally, I maybe take it a little bit for granted because year after year the boys do quite well in TIDC and playing in the country champs and in a state level, and but this opportunity is some that these boys have never seen before, and the level of expectation and professionalism in the program, I think will also help support and aid these boys in their development and their futures potentially.
Now, I don't want to steal Tonchi's thunder here too much. No weather-related puns intended. But you did mention La Nina a few times tonight, Tonchi. How is the pitch holding up to the wet season that we've had here, and the training pitches as well out at Elko Park? Because it's pretty tough. I get a lot of traffic.
It's been a challenge. Yeah, we had a lot of rain and a lot of flooding of especially pitch 2 and 3 have really struggled. We've had to move under 21s NPL matches because the pitches weren't of quality, and we've had to cancel all training sessions, and on and off throughout the season. It's been a real challenge. And further to that, our juniors also train at Hume Pitch 3, and we've had almost up to 8 weeks on and off where we've not been able to train due to washout or flooding. What we've then had to do as a means to try and get these squads at least getting one training session in that week is to cram them in at the little leisure time slots that we've paid for, and have up to 8 teams at once trying to train on the one pitch, and these are all sort of juniors up to seniors, and it makes it very very challenging.
Well, we saw some footage there, or some images there of Hume Reserve pitch number 3. That's the top pitch, and that was on a sunny day, mind you. That was last week on a sunny day. Look at the water retention, and if that's on a sunny day, imagine what it's going to be like on a rainy day. But I mean, Elko Park. It's. I've been out there many times this year, and I know the Kingston City when they came, they were just like. They were disgusted by walking through mud and whatnot, and that's an NPL 2 competition. But taking all that into account, I mean, the council says Elko Park is a privately owned facility, and you've got 3 pitches there. But at the same time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, North also uses 4 council facilities. So you actually use more council facilities than privately owned facilities, yet councils still aren't, apart from Leisure Time Centre, they're not really taking care of the other facilities, because you used Hurst Reserve in Manifold Heights and, as you said, Hume Reserve as well. Has there been any indication from council, especially now that North Geelong has qualified for the NPL? I mean, the second highest tier competition in Australia after the A-League. Are they going to do something and not just pay lip service, but actually do something for the sport here in Geelong?
I certainly hope so. Like you said, in regards to their support with Leisure Time, well, we're still paying for that privilege, so it doesn't come for free. It's not something they're volunteering, and honestly, I feel that out of obviously being a private club impacts, but we're definitely the forgotten club as far as any kind of assistance from council or support in any means, and it's a shame to me, especially you look at what we're producing as far as players and squads and what we bring for the region, and still minimal consideration at this stage from council.
Is it something that the club has now contacted council and said, as Tonchi pointed out, we've been promoted, we've had a successful season, we've been promoted to the second tier of Australian football effectively now. Can we be, looked after so that we are, received by the rest of the competition as a serious outfit, not someone who's got a pitch that's not up to their expectations, given that it brings a lot of attention, given that we'll have televised games in Geelong every weekend now. We'll have fans travelling from Melbourne every second weekend to watch the matches at Elko Park, that we want to put our best foot forward, and it's an opportunity for the city as well.
Yeah, look, we have representatives from the club that are always in constant contact with council, discussing these situations and the changes of our conditions and I guess our circumstances. I'm hoping that they can aid or assist us in some capacity, knowing that now we are moving to NPL 1, and again, could be drawing crowds 500 or more, and with that sort of foot traffic in our current setting would be devastating to the grounds and the facilities.
There's a lot of work that still needs to be done. I know it's not just North Geelong that has been affected. I know FC Leopold, they had to play some of their games from Estuary Reserve, go to Howard Glover Reserve. Armstrong United have fought for many years just the condition of their pitch. Drysdale also had a nightmare with their pitch for many, many years. So it seems to be kind of a regular occurrence. But look, well, let's give credit where credit's due. The council over the last 10 years have done a lot better, a lot more. And that's probably because of, the endeavours of councillors like Eddie Contel and Kylie Grisbeck, who are real bona fide football people. But there are other councillors there that are not supporting, that are not jumping on board because they seem to be a little bit too AFL, I don't know, that way, whatever. So we need to really do a lot of lobbying. And what would be your suggestion, Aaron? Because I know the North Geelong community has done a lot of lobbying in recent weeks with their various councillors. But what would you say to all the other clubs around Geelong? How can they get the best bang for their buck when it comes to facilities, when it comes to the maintenance of their facilities and other things as well from our council? That seems to be sometimes a little bit, they forget our world game.
Yeah, look, I'm probably not the best person to ask that question to, but in saying that, I think those that are the loudest tend to get the most reward. So I think noise is part of the challenge, and the more noise you can make, the more you maybe fall under their radar, and they start to put some consideration in.
And we assume that the club will have some input at some stage into the new G21 region football strategy that's being updated or redone at the moment.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, awesome. Well, it is a state election year, so not just the council, but also the state government also needs a little bit of a kick up the backside as far as our facilities are concerned. I always say we're happy to get 120, 200, maybe $250,000 of grants, whereas AFL clubs in this city sometimes get $8, $9, $10, $12 million of funding. We sort of sometimes really are the poor brother in that relationship. Aaron, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on the show. There's a lot of positives going on despite the problem with the facilities, but it just sort of makes you even more proud to think that North Geelong seems to be really punching well above its weight when it comes to competing against some of these Melbourne clubs with infinite resources, it seems.
Yeah, that warrior spirit.
The warrior spirit, yes, that's right. Absolutely. Always the David versus Goliath. Mate, all the very best for the off-season. You've got a massively busy off-season approaching, no doubt, and then a huge next year with so much happening there at Alco Park, and hopefully, as they say, sunnier days are coming to dry out those waterlogged grounds.
Evaporation, yeah.
That's it.
Good on you, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron. All the best. All the best. Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Aaron Bailey, the junior coordinator there at Alco Park. And look, we said this at the top of the show, Steve. Come the Women's World Cup next year, I do not know if clubs and the council and the local government authorities are just going to be ready for that monsoon that is coming of young kids wanting to play, especially young girls. They will all want to take up the sport, and they just won't have anywhere to go.
That's right. We've seen the stats, particularly for some other states like Queensland, where the disparity in funding between participations per sport and dollars spent per sport is completely off the Richter. It's not in our heads. We're not being we're not whingers. It's just factually is wrong, and we need proportional dollars spent on our game, especially with the Women's World Cup coming, as you say.
Absolutely. Now, before we go, I am calling the Geelong football community, the soccer community, call it what you want to call it, to band together now and to unite, because there is a very, very worthy cause. It's time for the Viva Energy Community Awards, the People's Choice Award, where you can now vote for someone that we believe to be a community legend. There is only one football person that has made the finalists list this year, and it is the legendary Bobby Hayes from the Geelong Soccer Club. Bobby, everyone knows Bobby. If you don't know Bobby, you certainly know his moustache. He is a well-known figure there at Stead Park. If you jump on the Community Legends website, the www.communitylegends.com.au/vote, Bobby's poll position. He's right at the top of the 10 candidate
good place
list.
to be on the voting card.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good. So there's no excuse, folks, and we don't want just Geelong Soccer Club people. We want North Geelong, Geelong Rangers, Barwon, Surf Coast, you name it, Corio, Bell Park, Barwon Heads, Drysdale, the list goes on and
There you
on.
go.
We
I've just
want
voted
the
right
entire,
now. Can I say
good
that?
on you. I did that today as well. The entire football community of Geelong, let's vote for Bobby Hayes and make Bobby Hayes the most popular club person in the Viva Energy Awards. We've had some illustrious winners in the past. Josip Zilic, my co-host from the Corio Soccer Show on a Wednesday, and who is tuning into this show, he's also been in the past. Dave Rea, the founder and former president of Barwon Soccer Club, someone from FC Leopold as well, I think as well, a few years back. The name skips me. But folks, do yourself a favour. We'll pop that website up again, www.communitylegends.com.au/vote. Make sure you do vote for Bobby Hayes. On that note, Steve, that brings us to the end of the show. We've got a huge grand final edition of the Football Out West show coming up on Sunday after the NPL Grand Final and the NPLW Grand Final, and that'll be our final show for the year. We'll be back next Monday at our usual time of 8 p.m. on a Monday night for the Geelong Region Soccer Show. But until then, have we got
98 next week? Yes.
Yeah, have we got a progress score from the Matildas game up in Sydney?
I haven't heard any addition to that score of 1-0, actually. It will be into the second half, though. Now, actually, unfortunately, if you don't want to know the scores, look away now, as they used to say, we're down 2-1 now.
Oh, no, that's no good. There you go. Well, 2-1 down, far out. Oh, well, what do you do? We thank you for being a part of tonight's show, folks. Really, really appreciate your presence and your input as well.
Your contributions, your energy, your enthusiasm, all of those things.
All of the above. And we look forward to a very, very exciting weekend of local finals football, semi-final action in the Geelong Region League. Until next Monday, good night, and thank you for once again being a part of this show.
Good night.
Thank you.